Hi. Over the last few years, I've been noticing an increasing number of problems when people buy Advent calendars. So many of you have reached out to tell me, oh, my Look Fantastic Beauty chest arrived battered and they haven't put it right yet. This particular thing they sent me all smashed up and nothing's been done about it. My Look Fantastic Advent calendar never arrived and I don't know what to do about it. They're simply not responding to me and so on and so forth. So I thought, this year there's been an unprecedented number of problems. So I thought I would ask you to tell me, to make your statements in one place so that I could do a video on this. Now, all of these are not this year's problems. Most of these are, so that we are aware of what is happening. So I'm just going to get straight into it. Mojito369 says, I'm thrilled with the ones I got this year, Sephora and John Lewis. Good. However, it is super annoying when you get alternatives to things that were listed. I don't use highlighter and I got that instead of the Charlotte Tilbury blush. That's not very fair. That's not nice. They may have small print that says, we do replace products. But, when you have a list of products in an advent calendar and photographs to go with it, you expect those products. You buy thinking you're going to get those products. When you get something else instead, it's very, very, very annoying. Very disappointing indeed. The blush in my Jean Louis Advent calendar does not suit my skin tone, whereas the one I was supposed to get would have. See, with the eyeshadow in my Sephora calendar, they say you can get one of a few shades, and that gets on my nerves as well. They can let you select that when you buy the Advent calendar so that you can get the right one for you. Good point. Previously, I've had Boots Molten Brown and Amazon Beauty calendars and all were great. Only thing with the Molten Brown was that some of it had to be used quickly as products had short dates on them. This has been a concern for a while now. Somebody said last year that they got, no, or was that in 2021? It was either last year or 2021. It was either 2022. This person got a Charlotte Tilbury mascara in their Harrods Advent calendar, which was very, very, very close to the expiry date. So, are Advent calendars a way of palming off or clearing up nearly expired, quite old stock? We need to ask ourselves that. Because in addition to poor value, usual suspects, yada yada, whatnot, minis and all that, we must also think about the expiry dates of the products being sent out. Are Advent calendars becoming a way of clearing up stock, making way on their shelves, making room on their shelves for all these companies? Now, the next one is from Ruth IEA 729. Colt's Advent calendar sent me the Samaya lip liner and it was just an empty box. So many people have had a problem with that Samaya lip liner in the Cult Beauty Advent calendar this year. They offered me £10, which took weeks for them to finally reply to me after I sent an initial message and follow-up messages, etc. Not even a sorry or anything. Just you can have 10 quid credit, not even a refund or nothing, for an item that was worth nearly 3 times that. Cult last year sent me a very used Natasha Denona palette. Literally somebody else's fingers had gouged out every single eyeshadow and it was extremely well used. Ew! That is a health and safety issue right there. What is going on? They offered me £10 credit initially for the use of Natasha Denona palette. I would have blown a fuse. I would have blown several fuses. To which you can imagine my response. Why the hell would I have paid £64 for someone else's manky, dirty, used palette? Well worded. It took months before it was finally resolved, as despite sending them multiple clear photos, within 5 minutes of receiving it, they had the cheek to try and charge me bloody postage to send it back to them. It was meant to be a Christmas present, and it was March by the time they sent me a prepaid postage label, which took the best part of 2 months to finally agree to. Then another 6 weeks after they got it back to refund me, and that was only because I was leaving negative reviews everywhere. Ever since Cult Beauty was bought by the Hut Group, I find that the complaints have increased. I sometimes, when I'm bored and need entertainment and have absolutely nothing better to do, I head over to Cult Beauty's Instagram because the comments there are quite entertaining. Lots and lots of complaints, lots and lots of cribbing. I mean, not they're reasonable complaints. People, of course, they paid good money and their orders are being messed up. Now, she has also written that she checked the Samaya lip liner as soon as it arrived, as lots of people have reported issues with theirs, broken or missing innards. Mine was completely missing the liner part. Right. Now, WWJJ13 says, I live in Switzerland and ordered a calendar from France. A German influencer got it. It was sold out after my order, so I was very happy that I managed to get it. So far, so good. After some days, I got a message that it is sent back at the border because of insufficient border documents. That is not your fault. That is a sender's duty, sender's responsibility to see that all documents are there. They ship worldwide. Was this the my cream, my friend? Lucky for me, a work colleague lives in France, and after long emails, they reshipped it to him. However, delivery in France is tricky as often they do not ring the bell. Sounds like Hermes. So it needed to be reshipped to a package station and he had to get it for me. I owe him a lot of chocolate and will never order from them again. I feel very sorry that this has happened, and even sorrier that you're going to have to give chocolate instead of eating it. Well, I hope you'll buy some for yourself as well. However, it is their job to see that all documents are fully clear, and they should have reshipped it to you on their own dime. Their fault. Insufficient documentation is always the sender's fault. So someone else has replied to this comment. Manana6646. As a fellow Swiss, I did the same when I ordered an advent calendar from Liberty years ago. I gave my colleague a gift from Rituals because it was such a fun. Now, Juliana says, I ordered the Cult Beauty advent calendar this year, I presume. Yes, this year. And it confirmed my order, but after 1 week I wrote in to check why it hasn't arrived, and the next thing I knew, they refunded me the money, no explanation, nothing. I then proceeded to insist that I did not ask for a refund, and then they admittedly said that the calendar was lost in transit. How do you possibly lose a huge advent calendar sent possibly by, most likely by tracked shipping in transit? How do you lose something sent by tracked shipping in transit? In this day and age where everything gets scanned, where there are barcodes and QR codes and things, and scanners everywhere, how do you do that? I was utterly disappointed, and because of this, I have a phobia of ordering from them again, having high hopes that it will arrive after accepting my payment and then get it all dashed. What a waste of my time and effort. Atrocious service and let down. Sounds like Stylevanna to me. Well, I ordered a few things from Stylevanna and then ordered their first ever advent calendar. All my orders 3 times cancelled, one after the other. No explanation. Security issue was the answer that I was given when I wrote in to ask. And when it happens 3 times, you don't want to order from them again. Andrea Osborne writes, I purchased a Space NK which was delivered in good condition with all the correct products. Excellent. I also ordered the Flannels Beauty Cracker, which is also great. I'm good. The Glossy Box Advent Calendar, listen to this, arrived damaged. It was really bashed on one corner, which is a shame, as it would have made a good storage chest. They gave me £7.50 refund. Sender's job to send you everything undamaged and intact. Worldwide. That is what you pay for. Not for half damaged goods. And £7.50, what is this? A tip at dinner? Nasty. I think Andrea needs to get a whole empty Glossy Box Advent calendar from them at the earliest. And I also think, if any of the products inside were also damaged, those need to be replaced as well. Josie Wheeldon says that they ordered the Charlotte Tilbury mystery box. After watching a few YouTube videos, I realized my contents were not the same. I contacted Charlotte Tilbury customer service and they were excellent. After sending a picture of my contents to them, they sent the correct contents and said keep the wrong ones. Completely blown away. Oh, good. I'm so happy. That is what you should do, because you send the wrong thing. You ask your customer to keep the wrong thing as an apology, as a goodwill gesture, and send them the right thing that they paid for. That is what you do. Miss JW from Australia writes, Harrods sent me a full refund with zero explanation on why they won't send it to me. I'm in Australia, if anyone else has experienced the same. Michelle Guy writes, this was my first year purchasing advent calendars. I watched many of your videos in 2023 which were helpful, so I planned only to buy the Harrods advent calendar after a lot of research. I was one of those unfortunate people who purchased, then received an email saying they were refunding my money. I waited the 5 days it took to reach my bank and it was already sold out. I hate it when they do that. So I emailed to see if there was anything they could do. No one ever replied. Reply to emails, people! Goodness me! What? That is appalling. If a customer writes and you're not even going to reply to that email. Terrible. So I moved on and purchased the Cult Beauty Advent Calendar. It arrived with the box completely mangled. I feel terrible because Michelle, this is her first year buying an advent calendar. And first you end up ordering Harrods and they refund your money. No reply to any email. And then you buy Cult Beauty because you have to buy something. And that arrives smashed up. Both the outer box and the calendar was damaged. The calendar was so damaged that one of the products fell out and the boxes were crushed and the left door was torn in half and then promptly fell off. Sounds like an elephant stumped on it. What are they doing? I wrote to Cult Beauty sending lots of pictures of the extent of the damage. It took about 5 days to get any response. Too long that they offered me $10. What is this, a tip at dinner? I said that was not acceptable and they said 20 credit or I could return the box. Ultimatum. Hey, I knew returning from the US back to the UK would be a nightmare. So this person's in the US. So I just accepted the $20 credit. You shouldn't, that's so unfair. I also had problems using their system to use the $20 credit, which I couldn't get resolved until I said I want a real human to read this message and not a bot. That worked. I got the measly $20 deposited into my bank account. This is the last time I'm buying from Cult Beauty. Frankly, I'm going to stick with the US Advent calendars. US customer service is one that I'm better equipped to deal with. Thanks for the opportunity to share my experience. I see by the other comments I am not alone. What breaks my heart is that you buy an Advent calendar for the first time in your life and you're all excited, you can't wait, you get a refund with no explanation. You wait for the money to come back to your account so that you can repurchase said calendar and it gets sold out by the time the money comes back. Then you order what you think is the next best Advent calendar because you want an Advent calendar. And what happens then? It arrives after an elephant stumped all over it, completely smashed up, products and doors and everything falling off, and you write in and they give you a tip for dinner. This is nasty and it is completely unacceptable. And I think these companies ought to be ashamed of themselves, particularly whoever is offering $7, £7, £10, just $10, $20 credit. Advent calendar smashed up, refund. At least, refund 50%. I feel terrible because, while I'm not on my channel telling you buy, this is all, hunky-dory, everything is rainbows and unicorns, you're going to love this. I'm actually telling you not to buy. Even so, I am talking about these Advent calendars. So people are going to see these videos and possibly buy them and have such experiences. So I feel terrible. I think, this video should be a reference point going forward. And next year, when I talk about Cult Beauty's Advent calendar, for instance, I intend to refer to this video and the comments that were made because this is beyond unacceptable. The next is from Miss Bucker. Hi honey, long time watcher, first time commenting. I just had to tell you that I got the A1 12-day Advent calendar in 2023. Just discovered that the 5 products I have left all went out of date 3 or 4 months before December 2023. When you buy an Advent calendar, you're not necessarily going to start using all those products from the next day. Even if you do, or whether you do or don't is immaterial. A December 2023 Advent calendar is one that gets opened during Advent 2023, that is from December 1st, 2023. If the products inside that Advent calendar all expired 3 or 4 months before December 2023, that is god awful. It's not just awful, it's god awful. The other 7 may have been expired as well, but I have used them, so I'm not sure now, but I am suspicious. I will be complaining to Avon. I hope Avon's put it right for you and, given you a full refund on your Advent calendar. Please update us. I am increasingly certain that these are just means by which brands can get rid of nearly expired or possibly expired old stock and, make room for new stock. Deborah Winter says, I ordered this year's Cult Beauty Advent calendar. Items broken, items missing, was offered £20 credit. I refused this and they asked that I return it. So I filled in the form they sent and then arranged a pickup. No one arrived. So I emailed customer service and after a lot of messages, they sent the form again for returns and I sent it back using InPost. They received the calendar on the 15th. I am still waiting for a refund. I sent the information to them twice to show that they had in fact received the box. Today they are asking me for proof. They've got the box. I am very frustrated. I'm thinking of reporting them as they are clearly dragging their feet. If this was the other way around, then it would be different. Other than that, I have no real issues with any other company's people. Those who are in the UK particularly are able to report to trading standards, it is called. And I think pretty much every country now has a consumer complaint forum, which is run by the government or quasi-government agencies. And you can report whatever, even e-commerce, that is online purchases there, online fraud. If you paid for goods or services which were never delivered, then it is fraud, is it not? So you get to report them. I'm not sure what it is for every single country around the world, but if you want, I am happy to look into it. But I think Deborah Winter is from the UK, so in that case, please, Deborah, if you are watching, please report to trading standards at the earliest. Also, everyone, please create a Trustpilot account and leave, an honest review, as scathing as you like, on Trustpilot immediately and send that to the brand as well. If you do leave comments on social media or even Trustpilot, please just send me the link, either on Instagram direct messages or email or whatever, and I am happy to come and leave a thumbs up, or a like, or a comment in reply to your review, or a reply of some kind, and so that, we can get the word out there to the brand. Because this sort of thing is quite unacceptable. So, 2 things. Your country's consumer forum, complaint forum, trading standards in the case of the UK, and Trustpilot review. Immediately, people. Failing that, you might want to consider, if you have a lawyer friend, if not, you can actually draft your own, a legal notice. In the event that this is not put right for said customer, further action will be taken. That is all that it says. It only says, in the event that, no further action is taken on this matter, subject, whatever. The templates are online, if you just Google legal notice, you get 1 million templates and you can Google specific ones. Or if you have a lawyer friend or acquaintance or relative, they can do it for you easily. It doesn't cost much to draft a legal notice, even if you do decide to hire a lawyer. Drafting a legal notice doesn't cost much. But the good thing is, once a brand receives a legal notice, they are bound to act, because they've been warned that something's going to happen, even if you don't actually sue them. No one's asking you to hire a lawyer, paying, a lot of money. But once the brand gets the legal notice, chances are that they will act and they will put it right, because, they'll be scared into acting at least. Anyway, moving on. Joe Elizabeth writes, Cult Beauty, broken item, was given £10 credit. Told me they take customer service very seriously and someone would be in touch in 2 days. 2 weeks later, I contacted again. Same response, another week. Eventually contacted again. I just got an abrupt response saying they would credit me £10. I'm from the UK. You can use my comment publicly and freely, I don't mind. I have left a Trustpilot review and trading standards will receive my email on Monday. good. I hope Cult Beauty has taken this seriously. I am happy to like or support or reply to your review or comment. And I hope Trading Standards has contacted Cult Beauty. Please keep us updated on this, because 10 quid credit for a broken item is insane. Now, Anne Fedderson writes, I've not had a bad experience with my 2 advent calendars this year, although I haven't opened because waiting until December 1st. My God, the patience of saints. So hopefully all good. But I have had a bad experience with Cult Beauty and dodgy practices. I told you, right, ever since they were bought out by the Hut Group, the problems are insane. Anyway, sick of them clickbaiting with £20 discount, 20% discount codes, then saying the products were not eligible. I thoroughly checked the criteria, spent correct amount, clicked through email to find the products, checked the exclusions, etc., and asked them which product was not eligible. They couldn't say. So then they bargained the discount, offering 10% for goodwill. Then 15%. What is this, an auction of some sort? I referred them to their initial offer and that their exclusion list was there as a legal requirement for transparency, and my item was not on that list. They eventually refunded me the promised discount. But I have ignored their discount code emails ever since. I get the impression that they would sell their own grandmother to save £5. That last sentence right there says everything. I get the impression that they would sell their own grandmother to save £5. Corporate greed. It's not even capitalism, it's corporatism, uncontrolled. And ever since Cult Beauty were bought out by the Hut Group, terribly, these complaints, the number of complaints have been skyrocketing. Anne's comment, I get the impression that they would sell their own grandmother to save £5. Makes a lot of sense. Now, Emily Guff writes, ordered the glossy box. Never arrived. How lovely. Had to chase refund for over a month talking to AI bots. Was like banging my head against a brick wall. I'm very sorry to hear that, Emily. However, the Glossy Box group, Glossy Box, is also owned by the Hut Group. I think that tells you everything you need to know here. A few years ago, the complaints started rolling in about Look Fantastic, Beauty, Chess and Advent calendars, products arriving smashed up. Then Cult Beauty are bought out, complaints about Cult Beauty, and now Glossy Box. Now, Sophie Durant writes, I bought Liberty with my Beauty Drop credit. Good, so you haven't spent much. Well done. At first glance, it was okay, until I opened it properly and there was rose oil in a puddle leaked all over the calendar. I got straight onto customer service and they said another calendar would be sent out the next day. Nice. My mum said, look at the state of it, and chucked it in the wheelie bin. Our family had just found out that my daughter was in hospital in a critical condition and is still not great a month later. I'm very sorry to hear that, and I hope she's all right now. At least she's better now. Fingers crossed. And please keep us updated. The replacement calendar never came. I called again, and they wanted the old mess back. They didn't say that the first time. They said, we're sending you another one. Obviously, you didn't think you'd have to send back the first one, so you binned it. Nothing wrong in that. Now they're saying they want the old one back. Why didn't they say that in the first place? You don't expect this sort of customer care from Liberty. That is one of the most iconic department stores around the world. You don't expect this from Liberty. So before going to the hospital, I had to sit out in the pouring rain, waiting for the bin man to pick out what he could. I was so embarrassed. Obviously, you poor thing. I told Liberty they could come and get it, and what I went through to get it. And knowing how bad my daughter was, they did come, and this has happened 5 times now. They never come, and when I ask for the tracking number, the DPD website does not recognize it. As far as I'm concerned, they can shove it, and I want my money and credit back. There's an update. Second comment here. Tomorrow will be my 5th time of waiting for them to come and get it. So it's still not picked up. After you went through all the trouble of digging through your trash for it. Every single time, I get no apology at all. They know how ill my daughter is, and they speak to me like I am inconveniencing them. The price of spending hours at the hospital is colossal, so I now want the £100 and my beauty drop credit back, obviously. I honestly can't believe they are dragging their feet over one calendar. Yeah, like I said to them, you're Liberty London, not a second-hand salesperson on eBay selling fake goods. Exactly. Liberty, most iconic department stores around the world. One of them is Liberty. You don't expect this from them. They would probably treat me better if Catherine Middleton called with the same issue. You would be giving her thousands of pounds worth of gifts to sort. I don't think the royals are allowed to accept gifts from companies. Well, I don't know. I don't want to get into that. But you wouldn't have this issue with her because you've already sent out free ones. Well, I'm tired of this, and that is what they want. Yeah, for you to be tired and give up. No, please don't give up. I'll give you full permission to tell my story on your blog. Sophie, how is A, your daughter, most importantly? I hope she's better now. And B, how are things with Liberty? Have they picked up? Have they answered you? Because this comment came in 4 weeks ago on the Liberty Advent Calendar video. And I would like to know if Liberty have solved it. And within these 4 months, I hope your daughter is doing better, Sophie. Sincerely, fingers crossed for you. Now, the Jelly Baby says the LMS Advent calendars and the other ones. People need a magnifying glass for the LMS ones, as it has got many teeny tiny sizes in it, including, drumroll, a face cloth in a box by itself. They used to be free with the cleansing balm. That's what I thought. But now you apparently have a face cloth in a box by itself. Good to know. Now, Barbara Schmidt says, I bought the Scent with Love. That is Cult Beauty, people. Cult Beauty Advent Calendar has 2 versions this year, remember. So, Scent with Love is the one that she bought. Since I had a gift card and account credit, so it was worth it for me. My lip liner came broken. Several people I watched had issues, so I checked. I'm sorry about that. These are my lip liner. Definitely seems to have a lot of issues. At first, they wanted to give me £5 credit, which, considering the price of the Advent calendar, was a bit of a joke, and I told them as much. Good for you. They now said I get €24 credit, which is the price of the liner, but I haven't received it yet. I give them 2 days. I saw other people having issues with the lip liner, so I didn't want a new one. But if there was something missing or otherwise wrong, I might have asked for the replacement. Now, Annie K says, I just opened my Cult Beauty Advent calendar and lip liner is broken. Boom Boom Cream and Kate Somerville are missing. This year is such a letdown in terms of the contents. I'm so sorry, and I hope they've sent you a lip liner, a Boom Boom Cream and Kate Somerville. And 10 quid credit gratis, in addition to sending these products back. But somehow I don't think they have. Now, Tempest Airs says, another YouTuber I watched also had the lip liner fall off the package. It was half a centimeter worth of product. The only product to be found inside the packaging. I cannot believe this is an isolated case. I was also surprised that the eyeshadow palette was only 3 colors, so small. Dog Mary and Moth wrote in last year saying, I got the 2020 Look Fantastic Beauty Chest. Never again. The Natasha Denona palette was smashed. It took me 2 months of emailing, tweeting, and finally posting my legal rights on their Instagram page before I received a refund. I will never order from them again. Now, I find that the vast majority of these problems are from the Hut Group-owned companies. Now, Karen Kelly has written in last year saying, I thought I'd share something similar to the terrible Cult Fantastic experience, and hopefully you could warn others on your channel. I recently purchased a large order selecting European Express shipping. It was sent via Royal Mail to Ireland, and customs duties and fees were applied. So you already paid a lot. I contacted customer service, who are really helpful, and now it's been a week of back and forth. The website clearly sets out an EU guarantee and FAQ stating that these fees are covered. So I was surprised when head office stated that they would not cover the fee or reimburse me. The issue is still outstanding and they're refusing to do anything. So other EU customers should probably step back until this issue is resolved. That is Space NK, people. And that was in 2022. And Karen wrote in to say that Space NK finally responded after more than a week of back and forth to say that they will now issue a refund for my customs and duties. I'm happy to hear that. At least, you have a written statement promising to refund that. Karen Bayless wrote in on Instagram last year after having ordered the niche beauty advent calendar and had so many problems with it that I told them to complain on the consumer forum. But I think they finally got the calendar. Now, Karen also messaged me in August this year, end of August, that Cult Beauty at the time released some hair care edits. Hello Hydration, big and bouncy, and so hair repair and so on. And Karen found that the value declared, or the worth of the contents inside, the contents were the same, but the value declared was very different for the EU and the UK websites, or when you converted the currency, the value was completely different. Not the prices of the boxes, the value of the contents. So, for example, the Scalp Saviors edit in the EU was worth 130 euros, and the Hello Hydration was worth 180 euros. In the UK, both are declared to be worth 150 pounds. How can that be? 180 euros, 150 pounds. 130 euros, also 150 pounds. That can't be right. The contents are the exact same, so why is the value changing from region to region, that is? I don't really think this was resolved because I haven't heard from Karen since. In 2021, Lulu wrote to me on Instagram and she bought the Harrods Advent calendar and there was a problem with it, so she decided to return it and she got an email saying she would be refunded and not to worry. But once the Advent calendar went back, they said they didn't get it. So she ended up with neither the calendar nor the money. Think of that. So Hermes, after picking up the Advent calendar from Lulu, were holding it at their distribution center owing to prohibited items. So there was no problem getting the Advent calendar to her while picking up prohibited items. Now, it was already leaking, so Harrods knows most couriers don't accept leaking products. So this is Harrods' fault. And you know what they said? We're happy to send you a box of chocolates or a bottle of wine as an apology. As an apology, bottle of wine or box of chocolates. Anyway, lots and lots of toing and froing. She finally received an email giving her a full refund for the Advent calendar. Full refund for the Advent calendar. And I hope she also got the goodwill gesture of both the wine and the chocolates. You deserve the chocolates, Lulu. Honestly, Harrods, you don't expect this from Harrods. Very iconic name, that. No, luxury, Harrods, no. So as you've noticed, I haven't read every single one out. Just the ones in the email, in the last video that I did. There are quite a few from previous videos which I haven't managed to sort of collate and put together. Quite a few problems this year, particularly with the hot group brands. A few problems here and there with the others as well. Although you might say that those are outliers or, exceptions or, isolated incidents. But, some of these are not isolated incidents. That Isamaya Liner is not an isolated case at all. So I want you to take this on board and think about it before ordering next year. That's the main thing. Because, you don't want to order your first ever Advent calendar and have a very, very unhappy experience. Have everything come and smashed up. And now they're offering mingy amounts as credit, 10 quid, 7 quid, 20 quid, not $20. No. So please, please, please think about this. Also remember expired products. Quite a few expired products or nearly expired products are being palmed off on us in Advent calendars. Keep that in mind. Is it better? Are we better off buying full-size products during the sales? And do we want to avoid companies where there has been a history of poor customer service, of items coming in badly packaged, damaged, of places where you have to talk to AI or, bots, not real people? So quite a few issues. I will be keeping this as a reference and mentioning some of these as I talk about Advent calendars or boxes or something next year as well. And Michelle saw Advent calendar videos last year and she bought her first one this year and it was completely smashed and mangled. All she got was $20 of credit, people. I feel that in the US, because of, quite a few more litigations, incidents of litigations or whatever, they are more diligent about responding fairly, or resolving things more fairly. They're more customer friendly. I feel that customer is king there a bit more. I'm not saying there aren't problems, there possibly are, but I feel that US-based companies seem to be a lot more customer friendly. Based on these comments, really. And I bought I bought a few indie eyeshadows from a brand in the US, and one of them arrived smashed, and immediately, no questions asked, press it back together and I'll give you $2 credit. Nothing of the sort. Full refund issued immediately. Do you want me to send another one? No, thank you. It might come smashed as well, and it'll break my heart. No, don't bother. Huge postage amount as well. Never mind, I'll refund you then. No questions asked. So maybe they have been more customer friendly owing to litigations in the past or whatever. It is a lot like, in Sephora, for instance, you can actually use a product and then return it if you don't like it. A lot of other countries don't have this policy at all. Such a very user-friendly return policy, such a very customer-friendly return policy. In most countries, you don't find that. So maybe the US is a lot more customer-friendly. But this is not just customer-unfriendly, this is downright evil, some of it. £7 credit, smashed up advent calendar. Nonsense. So those of you who did comment, I hope your issues have been resolved better now. If not, I think you want to consider Trustpilot. You want to consider Trustpilot reviews anyway, and possibly consider trading standards as well. Particularly if you have photographic proof and everything, documentation, you want to consider going to trading standards. Might help a lot. So those are some of the comments that I have been receiving about problematic or problems that people have faced while buying advent calendars, boxes, basically beauty recently from various companies. Very, very disappointing to hear. Actually, very disheartening to hear. This has actually put me off buying from Cult Beauty forever. I intend to stick to Yes Style or Korean brands for the forthcoming, for the near future. That sounds a lot better. Maybe Selfridges. Other than that, I don't really see myself buying beauty from, particularly not from Cult Beauty. My God, that's scary. Because I don't have the patience to talk to bots and, toing and froing. For security purposes, what is your address, please? The next time a completely different person, the next day, responds to you. For security purposes, can you please confirm your delivery? I just told you all of that yesterday. Oh, no, that wasn't me, that was my colleague, but you'll have to do that again, I'm sorry. Nah, I don't have the patience for it. So I'm not going to buy beauty. This problem solved. Indie brands. Lot better. At least you're talking to a real person. They don't have the money to install bots. So, as I said, those are some of the comments that I've received where people have had problems buying beauty recently. Please keep these in mind when you are ordering. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please do give me a thumbs up. Please do the subscribe button. Please do ring the notifications bell, and I'll speak to you soon.